this is a mastermind versus a big success summit. So I want to welcome everyone to, for us, is a very intimate setting. And so you're not in a big giant room where you're just listening. This is a nice small room where you guys are really encouraged to participate. This is early days of Maverick. And I know there's going to be lots of we wanted to do this and we needed to do that. And we want to listen to what you guys want. But I can tell you, G and I, going way back to the founding days of Ylopo and Follow Up Boss, it probably took Follow Up Boss 6 years to get where it needs to go. So you have to break a lot of shit along the way, right? And you have to make mistakes and you have to get better and get better and get better. We've had massive releases and improvements since the summer. We'll never stop. We'll keep going, but we have to get the feedback from the masters that are in the mastermind. And I think this is a really cool opportunity to say that, hey, you guys were part of the early days of MaverickRE, which I think is a super, super unique tool. So again, I just want to thank everyone for coming a day early, spending time with us, working a day early and digging in. And really appreciate the hard work for everyone that's been just sort of slaving away and working really hard and burning the candles at both ends to make Maverick, what it is today and what it will be tomorrow. So very, very thankful for everybody in the room, both on the Maverick side and of course on our partner side. G?
Echo a lot of the same sentiments here. I feel I wore the wrong shirt. So you do not need Ylopo to have Maverick.
But you have shoes today. I'll tell you that story another time, but it's good.
I do have shoes. Yeah, Maverick is a platform that we built for you guys. I think with Ylopo and our ecosystem there's a lot of thinking about the cutting edge. What's next? How do we get ahead of everything? Maverick is the opposite. It's learning from all of you and collating all of your knowledge and then making your job more efficient, right? And so we're excited to get your feedback, especially as we get into new products. I won't say there will be a vote, but we really appreciate what you guys share with us in terms of our roadmap and our priorities, right? So excited to get into it.
So yeah, so the last thing I want to say is, Ylopo, I always say one of the issues with Ylopo is, that 75% of my clients don't even know about 75% of the tools. We literally have 120 tools in Ylopo. It's very vast. And we have probably 20 different siloed competitors, and they do this, and they do this, and they do this, and they do this, and that's all they do. And we do all of it. And it all talks to each other. It's all integrated, and you don't have to buy 20 different tools. And that's the cool thing about Ylopo. The difficult thing is if I meet someone in the elevator, what's Ylopo? I'm I can't, in that elevator session, tell them what it is. Then that's a problem, right? With Maverick, I actually have my elevator pitch down, right? And it's very focused, okay? Maverick is a sales accelerator. It's more sales and it's more quickly. That's it. And if it's not doing that for you, then you need to talk to us. But by seeing all of the missed opportunities, by raising the game for every single agent that's on your team, and by tapping everyone on your team on the shoulder saying, here, not only here are your missed opportunities, here are your highest opportunities right now, today, right? Or we're going to reassign it automatically. All of that together is not only to get you higher conversions, but to get them more quickly. It is the ultimate sales acceleration tool. And especially if you've got a great lead source like Zillow, no matter where you get your leads, we have the conversion stats now. You will convert higher and you'll convert more quickly. So so there's a lot of stuff in it, but it all drains down to that very focused goal. Having said that, I'm going to hand it off. Is that okay?
Yeah.
To awesome. General Manager, Head of Products.
Yeah.
To the team.
Thank you. And I think I've got a chance to meet a lot of you. For those of you who are not, Gabe Cordova, General Manager at Maverick. Also Director of Operations and Database at Robert Slack. So I'm excited because I've got to really dig in this last year and utilize a lot of Maverick, managing about 1.9 million leads coming in from all over the place. And it's been incredible to get to see the transformation on that. And then to get to host something like this to really let us share what we're doing, what's working, what are we seeing move the needle in our business. What are some of the areas in the software that we're too afraid to click on and don't know anything about, but we should? And then some of our wish list items, which is kind of where we're going to go and how we're going to spend the day. But we also have some people here from behind the scenes I'd like to introduce themselves to that maybe you guys don't know. Kick us off, Brady.
Yeah, Brady. I'm a group product manager here with Maverick. Been with Maverick since the inception of the product, and I've kind of guided it along its pathway to where it is today, and we'll continue to work with it as it gets better and better tomorrow.
Also a product manager for Maverick, leading it for all of the new exciting features that we have been releasing and that we're continuing to release. And I've been with Maverick for a little over a year now, and been really exciting time to see it grow, and excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. And then I'm putting one on the spot, Lex. Sorry, Lex in the back. Sorry, I was trying to snag you. You went out. Real quick introduction, because I know you know a lot of these faces, but here, come here real quick.
Oh, okay. I'll come to the front.
Come up here. I know I was trying to snag you while Howard's talking, but you were zooming
Yes.
around.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexis. I'm a Director of Operations over at MaverickRE. I run the client success side, and yes, I think there's not a face in this room I do not recognize, so it's good to see y'all.
Love it.
But
Awesome, thanks. And we've got them here to kind of help out. So most of you or all of you should have received a survey. I got a good chunk of those back. So that's kind of what's going to drive today, right? We asked a lot of questions on the survey, what's going on. I broke them into 3 different categories, which is wins and success stories, what we're using, what's working for us, what's moving the needle. The second section is areas where we feel like we can improve, learn about, go deeper in. And then kind of the last section is probably their favorite and my favorite, because I like watching their faces a lot of times, which is the feature request. I wish it did this. Could we get that? And then I think some fun stuff that Brady and G and Rachel are going to be sharing about some upcoming releases. So real quick though, I know we got some teams. I don't know if we have time to do everybody individually, but if you're a team lead, maybe just give a quick introduction, where your market's from. We can start with Grant over here.
Brady Johnson, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm Chris Van Olfen, North Georgia Group out of Atlanta. This is Ron and Mark. Hello.
Awesome. Hedda?
Hedda, San Diego County and Orange County, California.
San Diego's in the house.
Kyle Draper, Los Angeles County.
Awesome.
Alex Riplin, right here in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Daniel Rinaldi, Las Vegas.
Charles Nutter, Greenwich, Connecticut.
Say Grunge, Connecticut?
Greenwich.
Granite. I'm like, wow.
Ryan Beck, Spyglass Realty, Austin.
Awesome.
Carlos Guerrero, South Florida.
Okay.
Brian Buckley and my wife Tara, we have a team in South Florida.
Awesome.
Jeremiah Kavalka, South Jersey.
Okay.
Chase Jolakowski, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Daniel Keaton, Richmond, Virginia. Colton Whitney, Irvine, California.
Same? And then one more intro. I didn't see you back here. We've also got a celebrity in the house.
Hi guys. Barry Jenkins, came out of Virginia Beach. Real quick residence of my life.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to jump in. I want to talk about the wins and success stories first. And I know a few of you have come through on the survey, and there was a lot of overlap in here. So if you shared something, we're going to keep this very organic. Kind of raise your hand. What are you doing? What's moving the needle? If you're doing something you think somebody else should be doing it, what is that one thing? And I'm going to put Colton in the hot seat first, because you sent in a couple different things. But I love what you're talking about, just the appointment or the appointments and your numbers that you've seen. And I've got Leslie and Lex will also, for those of you sharing, we're going to hand you a little mic just so we can capture everything on recording for a replay for everybody and all that. So I've seen you speak about it, and it's an area that I am obsessed with, and I don't think enough teams are, especially when they have low funnel leads like Zillow, things like that. But the appointments, the asking for additional appointments. So I'd love to hear what you're kind of doing with those two areas.
Yeah, so we've just our biggest challenge has been, if you guys, and we did this with them, it's like if you have 100 conversations, what percentage of the time do you think your agents are asking for an appointment? And the average team, it's going to be shockingly low. So having transparency into how often are you asking, and then more importantly, how often are they accepting? We've just dove into that. So it's if you're not asking, ask. On 100 of the conversations you have, you should be asking. 100% of the time. The big one, though, is the acceptance rate. And it's like the thing that allows us to see our agents asking questions that allow them to identify a pain point and then use the reason for the ask as a solution to their pain point. And it's like, since we've started obsessing with that and the scripting that agents use to improve it, we've seen a huge improvement in it.
When you say obsessing though, like what are you guys doing to obsess? I want to get like really granular in there. Like,
yeah, so we do daily role play between 8 to 8:30, and like we just make sure agents like are accustomed to just saying like, hey, I'm curious, what's one of your biggest frustrations or pain points you've been experiencing in the marketplace today? And it's like we can all ask. There's that Tom Ferry script, which is cheesy but way better than the one that nobody else uses. Like, when was the last time somebody sat you down to walk you through what it takes to be a successful buyer in this marketplace? It's like that's better than not asking at all. But the ask is like, hey, what's been one of your biggest pain points and frustrations? And in every single conversation, it's the same stuff. It's interest rates, it's affordability, it's I haven't found the right house yet. And it's like, cool. So we just use that pain point as a solution. So if we know affordability is the challenge, it's like, hey, I completely understand affordability has been everybody's pain point. There's a new program to where the seller will actually participate in your monthly payment to solve to the affordability challenge. I'm not sure if it's for you, but I'd love to find out. I can meet with you either Thursday or Friday. What works better for you? And it's like, we just make sure that the agents are accustomed to one, asking, finding out what that pain is, and then two, leveraging that pain point as the reason for the ask. And it's like, if you can show somebody the value in the appointment, more people are naturally going to accept it.
awesome. And what I'm gonna try to, Rachel's gonna try and show you guys just as people are talking about areas in the software that they're using to track this. We're gonna try and just kind of follow along and highlight. And you guys, and when you're talking about it, you might be using a different part, but we're gonna be highlighting different areas that primarily focus on what we're talking about in here. So this is in the under the AI call tools. There's different sections in here that you can go in and find all of your rankings percentages of when they're asking for the appointment, when they're not, and it ranks all of your agents on there, so you can look at that.
If they're not getting the results in their business that they want, you're able to use really granular data with regards to their call performance, and then you can provide training that's relevant to them. And I can't tell you, how many times I walk into my sales meetings and I've spent 20 minutes preparing because I'm able to log into Maverick and get really granular. I'm adding this note here. Nothing I said is revolutionary, but I think as team owners, I think we kind of just like gloss over this data. Like, we're excited about it, but we're not actually using it to equip our agents specifically to overcome the challenges that are decreasing the amount of sales. When you get granular, like what Colton's going over, you're able to actually help them get more appointments, and more appointments, they get to sell more houses. And so I think this, for me, when I look at this screen, I'm reminded about how much more granular we need to get in how we're training and equipping our agents. We've got to get in the weeds. And that used to take a long time. Like, I don't know about you guys, but listening to calls, like it's like drives me to want to drink. It's just really stressful. It's emotionally draining, but to have hard data, but we got to use it though. Right? So like, just out of curiosity, how many, and I hope all of you raise your hands, but how many of you are using data like this to actually give very specific granular training and sales equipping? All right, a lot of you. So that's awesome. Yeah. So that, and I think that's something that really highlights the value proposition of the product.
So a lot of hands are there. Thank you for that. As we're going through, so a bunch of hands. I'm just curious, how else are you guys using these, whether it's in one-on-ones? I'd love to hear some other things, what you guys or how you're using this in your business, whether it's daily, whether it's weekly, whether it's in team meetings, or you filtering it down to the agent level, the team level. So are you doing like team meetings though, or are you doing one-on-ones, both?
So one-on-ones.
Okay.
Yeah, and then every Monday during the sales meeting, my director of sales pulls it up for the team. He sets targets like, this is our goal for the week, and see if they hit it.
Right. What was that?
I'd love to hear what others.
Yeah, I know. We got some shy people in here. Mike.
Yeah, when you start doing agents on our platform.
Wait, one second. There we go. Yeah. It's not a mic. It's just for the recording, for the replay. I did the same thing. I'm like, is this thing on?
That's cool. Yeah, with our new agents, since we're such a big flex team, and that's our priority, is we will use objection handling, the objections asked, and the appointment asked to really drive that in the beginning. If people don't understand the gravity of those two importances of, can you handle objections? Do you ask for the appointment? Do you just ask for it? This just shows us like hard data on, are they doing it or not, right? And then we can pull up someone like one of our top producers right here who is crushing it with the numbers, and we can show them this is X, Y, and Z, or why they're performing. X, Y, and Z being appointment asked, they handle objections better, quicker call pickup times. Agent talk time is actually one we've been working on recently as well, active listening versus spamming them with words. So
Can you go a little deeper on that one? I want to make sure too, if you guys can't hear that, but the agent talk time. Here, I'll grab this. You guys are gonna have to use both. One speaker.
Now I get a microphone. Awesome. All right. So the agent talk time was a new one. I think it's a super underrated because a lot of agents get too salesy sometimes and they'll go over the top with talking and they'll kind of just shoot themselves in the foot. And with the agent talk time percentage, being able to track with someone like our agent Wally here, who is actively listening, asking the right questions. You don't need to ask 6 questions to get the same answer or more. That's a big deal as well. So you're not over talking them. You're not, giving them sensory overload, if you will. And so that's like what I think is a super underrated one to keep track of. The percentages, ours usually is in the like 40% is what we're looking for, or lower. And if someone's at like 80% or higher, sometimes you're asking too many questions and you're not being efficient with the words you're using. So
I love that.
Just a niche one, yeah.
Right. And the whole time he keeps pointing at Wally up here and he's like, yep, yep. Awesome. All right. The other thing, will you hold on this one too? Or I'll get it. I can do this one in case it goes this other direction. So the other thing I love too that you guys did, and I'm curious how you guys are doing this. I think it comes down to implementation as well and actually getting training and stuff. And I was fortunate enough to come by your office one day, spent a few hours with you guys. And I love just the fact that you're actually doing the training, actually getting it in there and implementing it. So I'm curious going into that, because we're in the success. How have you guys also found success in how you've implemented this? How are you training this? How are you getting the agents to buy in, the team members, to get into this?
I was going to leave it all up to Mike, but I just want to add to what Mike said. Really, we are a big Flex partner in San Diego, and we've been doing it since 2020. And before we can actually get a team member into the program, they have to go through Maverick.
Okay.
And
what do you mean go through it? And the process?
AI call coaching.
Yes. Okay. So if they fail that, then they can't get on. So it's really like making sure that they're prepared, ready to go when they start taking calls.
I love that. So is everybody doing this part? I love that. Right. Thank you. Is everybody doing this versus just nodding yes? Is everybody getting in here and actually providing the numbers for AI coaching? And then I want to go in deeper too in the customization for ALM as well, where you can customize this. So has everybody gone in and actually customized? A lot of yeses. Anybody is not. It's okay. That's why we're here, right? This is where we're sharing and stuff. So everybody's familiar with that? Yeah. Just making sure where we're coming in. You want to go into the actual, yes. So you guys can come in and actually set up and change the rubrics on what you guys want, right? So if you want to put certain weights on everything, if you want to just set up your appointment, your location, your motivation, everything can be put in here so that you're using that. And I don't know, when you're saying they have to go through it, is there a certain amount of time, a certain amount of calls, certain scores? What is it that has to go through? Yeah, talk loud.
So when we have a new agent onboarding, we have the thank you. Oh, it's set up nice.
Now they're combining it.
Yeah. When we have a new agent just joining onto like the Flex program, for example, we have with our CSM Amber, we set our rubric to have a very, very, very high importance, like I think 45, 50% on like appointment ask, for example. And so they need to be making, so there's a easy, medium, and hard, I just call it, for like the buyer avatars and or the call avatars. And they have to score 8 or higher on that, because I believe we have ours set to 10 as our point scale. They have to score 8s on 6 individual calls, which is basically just 2 for each, right? And I don't tell them which one's the hard one, which one's the easy one. It's kind of jumbled in a way. I don't label them. And they run through it. If they score 2s and 3s and 4s, they have to keep running them until they can prove they got 2 8s in each category. And we might change that as time goes on, but it's been really good. And for the sake of scaling, we run a very lean admin to realtor ratio. And it's helped us scale a ton with training, being able to onboard so many people at once. Because prior to this, actually, Gabe, it was you who suggested this to me, is these were 30-minute meetings each, individually practicing scripting. So we can have those only for those who are really, really struggling now, because Maverick takes that whole 30-minute meeting and they can do it on their time. Some people are doing that at 1 a.m. So it's, they have nothing else to do, I guess. So, yeah.
I love it. And I keep seeing you.
Sorry. Follow up.
I keep seeing you nod. So like, yes. So I'd love to hear kind of what you're thinking
So
there.
we have like on ours, like every day they get an AI call today that goes out. And so if you're in the first 90 days with our team, you have to do a call every day. If you're experienced agent, you started scoring over us after 90 days, you can graduate out. It doesn't have to do one call a week. And then we do have live scripting once a week too, but we do an AI call a day, but I haven't done a lot of this behind the scenes. So this is helpful. So that's going to be great.
Yeah, you can customize that.
Customize it more, yeah.
So it sounds like this is what you guys are running to get up and go. We got Danny over here as well. To get up, well, let's say in this, more on the training and getting up and running. I'm gonna come over to Danny.
Oh, wait, who?
Right here, right here.
Oh,
Sorry.
Danny, I'm
Oh.
so sorry. I was like,
No, thanks, guys. So the AI calling is really helpful for us because if anyone, I know you're in Vegas too, obviously. We have really ridiculous turnaround time here on getting your license. So you could put your application in, take 6 to 8 weeks to get licensed. So people get all excited, they pass their test, they join the brokerage, and now there's like this almost 2-month period of time where they can't do anything. So we have them making AI calls every single day. So it makes them feel like, they're part of the team, they're training, they're getting some almost real world experience. And it's also a really good first test because I have found that just half the people just don't do it. And that's a really great red flag, because if they're not going to make AI calls, I know they're not going to do anything once they get licensed. So that just helps me know where to focus my time.
I want to make sure too, I'm going to pause real quick that everybody caught that, because this is when you've got people coming to you waiting for licensing to go through and all that. When I first heard this a while back, I thought it was genius, because you're almost even weeding probably some out that are like, oh crap, I actually have, they're coming to you for the training, the leads and all that. So I'm guessing you're weeding some out that just aren't willing to do the work.
Oh yeah, because everybody's had people like this before. You have them make the AI calls, they come back a week later. Oh, I had someone get sick. I wasn't feeling well. I got really busy. I'm winding down for my job. And that's just the first of 30 excuses you're going to get during the course of knowing them. So that just helps me. I've noticed a big correlation between that once they get licensed.
This could be a really bad idea.
Oh gosh, here we go.
But I'm riffing on this a little bit, Mastermind. But could you use this as a recruiting tool, potentially with folks that are not on your team, and saying, hey, let's practice on our AI sales. But has anyone done that at all?
So,
you guys have done that?
I don't. I have a main team and then a Zillow Flex team in 4 states that are not a part of my team.
Yep.
They have to pass this before they even start the onboarding process.
I won't even put an experienced agent in our pond until they get past this. And the worst ones are the ones that have been doing it 9 or 10 years, actually. I swear to God, they're all coming to teams now. I'm like, the new ones are better.
Because everyone's coming to me like, recruiting, we want more recruiting. If you're out saying, hey, you're not even on my team, I'm here to help you, try to do some laps of this, I'll give you some feedback. And then they're like, well, the team leader I'm with doesn't help me at all. This guy who I'm not with, or she, they're helping me, they're giving me feedback, they're upping my game, and they have this great tool set, and now I go over here.
I've demonstrated
somebody
it
to
on
brainstorm a little
panels
bit.
and stuff too, but yeah, they're not touching our leads. I don't care if they, I've been doing it 10 years and I did 50, whatever. and it's still like, you're not touching my leads until you pass this.
Well, we do that, but we do that too. That like part of the onboardings, they have to go to the score. But what you just said, we don't hire brand new agents just because they're such a coin toss. And this is like when you just told me that could be like the litmus test of, if you're willing to do this, then you got a shot. Yeah.
So I'm going to go real quick before I'm coming to you, I promise. Real quick on that. I love that because you had mentioned before they even get pond access, right? We got to teach them how to go prospecting, what to say. One thing that we've done as well on that, we're going to come to Colton next.
oh, we're going to Colton.
Is similar, is we've gone through a whole pond certification course now. So we won't actually even let agents go into the pond until they get certified. So we actually put together a course that trains them like on stages and updating on that. But part of that is 50 calls into the act. We pull up the personas or the numbers again in the drop down. The one that we're doing is the lead activity alert. Primarily they have to make 50 phone calls to this because we know in the pond, there's a ton of activity, right? That's happening, whether it's coming from Zillow or from Ylopo or whatever, but they're actually having to get certified to get that pond access. And the AI coaching is a big part of that certification. And what's happening is, of course, everybody wants access to the pond, but then a majority of them aren't doing the work to get in there. So now we at least are getting to the most hungry agents that actually are going to put the work in that get the pond access.
Now you screwed up because now I have like 6 questions. So you guys can change you can relabel the because you said you like to jumble it up so they don't know. Those are customizable? No, wait, I thought that's what you said you did.
I just did a snipping tool and I just snipped.
Oh, okay, because I was like, that would be cool, because then the agents wouldn't pick and choose which one. Okay, got it. And then, hold on, I wrote them all down. Hold on, what was it?
Fun to hack. No, just copy paste.
Custom rubric, blah, blah, blah. Does it? Oh, is there anything in here for, because I know we're like, you have to do X.
If you're jumping ahead to the feature request, we're going to cut you off.
Okay.
But we can ask the question.
Because we're like operationally talking about being able to, like, you have to do X and you have to do Y, you have to do Z. It sounds like you guys have some type of tracking that's up here for it. Like, agents need to do this, because that's the one challenge, is like, who's actually doing it, that for the AI call of the day. You're releasing it, who's doing it, who's managing it, is it a VA going through? Like, not having to do all that tracking would make our lives really easy.
Well,
we just knew out of the gate who did and who didn't.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask the same thing. Executing on that, like you said, they have to do it every day. Do you have an admin emailing everyone every day, or?
Hold on one second. One second. Where's the? Is it just the one?
Dun, 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 dun. Here we
Good
go.
job, Lexi.
We're gonna run back and forth.
So I actually go through and pre-program the month in advance and put in AI calls, but I don't tell them what they just say buyer, seller, or seller. I don't tell them if they're angry or whatever the case is. I just say, here's the number and whatever. And then when we do our one-on-ones, I track that they've done them afterwards.
Right, but how do they wake up in the morning and have?
9 a.m. it goes on to group me. We have a group me, like
You
a
have a
Slack.
group me.
Yep, it goes to
That's what I
group
was-
me and it automatically posts to all the entire team and they log in and see it on there and then they got to go and call.
Is anybody else doing anything like that where they're notifying their agents every day for the AI calls?
I'm not, but.
It's super easy. Oh, and you can use message. Message is what allows you to pre-plan group meets if you use group me. I know we're kind of archaic with group me, probably use Slack and all that. We just use group me, but message does it for you. You can pre-plan all your messages out.
Well, so when I heard them say it, I immediately wrote a note down that I'm going to trigger in my Go High Level. I'm a big Go High Level user. I'm going to trigger in my Go High Level for it to send a text every day, just like I do my weekly pipeline reviews, and they have to respond to it that they've completed it. Otherwise, I get an alert by the end of the day where it would ping them again saying, you haven't done your job.
Yeah, so the reason why I was pressing into that is we have all this tech, but we need to execute on it, right? And so having these little nuggets, that's the value of a mastermind like this.
So we started something similar. All of our agents that have listings, once the listings get to day 21, they don't have an active offer and they haven't had a price reduction yet. We have an admin going in, texting out sorry, poor thing. We have sending out, and if you guys aren't using this, the price reduction. So it's automatically going through our system. So any agents with active listings, day 21, that haven't had a price reduction yet, this is going out, asking them to call in. Because what we found was we started looking at all these expired listings that we had, and we went back, started tracking it. A majority of them didn't have a freaking price reduction on them. And then we went deeper, started scanning through Follow Up Boss to look for calls or anything even asking for it. A lot of them they'd never asked. A lot of these agents in the last 4, 5, 6 years have never really had to ask for price reductions. They're nervous about it. So that's another one of the things we're automating out is it's a text message that I can't remember which one they're picking. We're just choosing one of the numbers here, but it goes out in a text message to them saying you've hit day 21. Please make, I think it's 10 role play sessions with this and ask for a price reduction from your seller. Any of our company generated listings. It's part of the requirement now to take listings that are company generated is you're going to have to role play if you haven't got a price reduction yet. Right over here, Lex.
I got you. I'm coming.
She's got a cardio in today.
Hustle.
Howard, your recruiting thing has my wheels turning. I'm just trying to think. I'm a little ignorant onto the onboarding process with this. Do they need to be like a paid FUB seat if it's somebody who's not on our team to then like use this as like a little recruiting type hook? Or how would we get somebody not on our team to be able to like leverage
How are you
that?
guys doing it, Danny?
Well, we used to basically the number where you can test it out.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still active. I haven't done it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're doing it similar. Just we're getting them a FUB seat. You can still get them a FUB seat. They just don't have any active leads for us, so they can get in there. They're brought over into Maverick automatically once they have that FUB login, so they can.
I think
do it.
let's make a note of this because I was thinking, I actually had that question, but that was a new idea, right? And let's just make a note of this going forward too, because like we could almost be giving out, Maverick clients like you get whatever, you get 5 recruiting seats or something like that, right? Because we don't want to charge folks for higher seat levels, but it really, I mean, selfishly for us, kind of a cool like little sales thing. Like you're gonna get 5 to 10 recruiting slots for AI, and no one's doing it. Like, no one's, it's not just about asking people to come. It's like, you guys know, it's consulting, it's giving them something. It's something with real value. And so let's rate it.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. We're gonna bring this over.
Well, while we're on this, yeah. So, and I could help you too with it because since we adopted Maverick pretty early on, I think this has allowed us to, and I coach with Reside as well. So it's like we have our enrollment, and then we have a 4 to 6 week onboarding one. Well, as far as recruiting too, yeah, I've used this, and we'll probably do it again maybe next Thursday, but on panels and stuff, to showcase what we do as far as like enrollment, onboarding 1, and then onboarding 2 once their license comes in. But 2, you guys like Alex, you're here. Anybody that's in Vegas, if you don't want new agents, send them to me. I want new agents. I'll send you the 10-year guys, the old dogs that I can't teach the new tricks to. I have 3 dogs. I love them all, but 2 of them I got from the shelter when they were adults. The puppy that I was able to send to a trainer, I had to send her for 2 weeks. Board and train is the best dog I've ever had, the puppy. I didn't want a puppy for years. I'm like, give me the one that's like 3 years old, they're potty trained, whatever. And so now it's the same thing. Like, give me the new agents, because with the adoption of this specifically, probably, I can have a brand new agent close a transaction faster, I've learned, than I can with somebody that's coming in with experience that's forced to go be on a team now because we're all buying leads and they can't. And it's like beating a dead horse. So yeah, that too. Like, give me the new agents. We'll do a trade like an NFL team. I'll give you like 3 veterans for your draft pick. Seriously.
Body training. I love it.
You have to teach them how to talk to people. So you tell them something 6 times it equals 0. You tell them 7 it equals 1.
There you go.
Well, and what you were saying, for everybody who complains about like new agent, and I do get it.
Hold on 1 second, Cole. Sorry, it's not even so much for the mic, it's for to capture the audio, guys, for the replay. So
They're the ones that you can guarantee 50-50 splits on for a very long time when the experienced agents won't. Like, most teams are complaining about their profit margin, and if they don't know it's like, that's your fix to it. Stop giving it all away through cost of goods sold.
Yeah, I mean, I love newer agents. Yeah. Like mine's the bread and butter for me is 1 to 3 years, 1 to 3 million. Yeah. It's just that. Like, I think, I think part of the problem that we see is that when you have, and I've talked with Barry about this a lot, is that like, when you have, if you're all Zillow Flex, I assume you are, right? It's such it's such a resource drainer on your team, and because of that, it's been harder to manage the non-Zillow leads, like the PPC leads for Ylopo, which is those are the ones we really want to close because the margin's much higher, and so Zillow forces you to be accountable to that, and so we're making a really big push to level out the playing field as far as our other sources.
Yeah. All right. So
my flex team is completely separate from my other team.
Well, and that's what Barry ought to give that speech about the movable middle, which really stuck with me.
All right, Ryan. I want a lot of AI coach. I want to move on to Agent Snapshot. I want to get to a couple other areas here because they came back in the survey. So who's implemented and started training and using Agent Snapshot? 1.5, 2, 3. I'd love to hear about that. 3. Let's come. Have you started Agent Snapshot? How's it going, or any thoughts on that? Because it's a newer feature, a newer release that we've done. I'd love to kind of hear back some feedback on that. If anybody has something to share, or
It's nothing really profound, honestly. It's just something in our one-on-ones. It's one of many things that we pull up. Like one little note would be, I'd love to see the appointment ask rate here, just because like we're flipping back and forth between those constantly, and especially when we're looking at like total call volume and then no appointments. Like that's the easiest way to kind of get to it. Which it's all here. We're just like flipping between.
Going back through the page. Okay, nice.
I think we're just focusing on them coming to this for everything for us now. instead of going to like multiple systems. So even as far as FUB is concerned, the smart lists aren't used quite as much anymore, right? So they go into agent snapshot, they go to the opportunities waiting, clean up their nudges, go through the system there. And this is just kind of like a landing page for them. So I'm like, you just live in Maverick. You don't need to go, it will take you into, although I wish that was all clickable, by the way, instead of having to go to the bottom. By the way, I like everything clickable. If you could just make everything clickable, that would be great.
Don't worry, Gabe tells us every day that we need to make everything clickable.
If there's a number, click it. That's what we want, all clickable.
We get into a meeting and they show a mock-up and suddenly they show a number. Is it clickable?
Yes.
Is it clickable? Is it clickable?
We'll make it clickable, don't worry.
Yeah, everything clickable. But I think it's for us, it's just like, don't get bogged down in all the tools, right? But you just come to this one tool and it will get you through your day. Make everything green and do your AI calls with follow-up, and it's all in one place. So it seems to work. They seem to like it a lot.
Yeah, I love that you kind of tied too, because the three primary areas that came through on the survey was AI Coach, Agent Snapshot, and then the nudges. And really, I think Agent Snapshot, and that's where I was hoping somebody would go with it, is I think this starts tying in the nudges, rules, and alerts really well. So I'd love to go a little bit deeper there, how you guys are using this in one-on-ones to get that, because I think prior to Agent Snapshot, right, rules and alerts was only visible to admin or managers, and it was kind of like you're pulling it up and showing it versus somebody being able to log in and seeing where are they succeeding, where are they about to start falling behind, and where are they missing opportunities. So I love how this ties into it. And if you guys missed it, on the Agent Snapshot right at the bottom, that agent can click on it and it goes right into the rules and alerts, but everything's locked down just to them, right? So it's not everybody else. They can literally monitor their pipeline at all times, right?
The only way we don't really use smart lists anymore. Just they weren't up to keeping up with their smart lists. There's like 40 smart lists. And
right.
This is overwhelming. So we pared that down to what we pared that down to what we wanted to follow, and we built those out. And now, got 0 to 3 month time frames we in there, and nurtures and people you've closed with every 90 days. Right. And it's got all that's broken down in sections in there, which is really good.
Love it.
Although I would like to add one, although I don't think we can, but now we have a smart list built for when they opt out of being a Zillow.
Right.
When they are no longer a Zillow My Agent feature where it expires, or if they opt out of My Agent.
Okay.
So we have a smart list for that. It would be nice if we could drop it in here, and if they're getting ready to expire, we'd tell the agent. Or if they got fired per se, or no longer their agent, they were made notice of that too. And I talked to Amber at Maverick, but of course you have to do a tag to do it, and there's no way to do a FUB tag yet.
So they're not Zillow's not tagging it?
Zillow, it's in the smart list. You can build in the smart list, but you can't tag it from that yet, from what I understand from FUB's point of view. So it may not be something we can get there yet. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
No, I just have a question. You're using these, and your agents have access to this?
Through their agent, through each individual agent login, yeah.
Agent Snapshot now.
Yeah, so they go into Snapshot. Everybody has their own logins, and then they go into here and do everything through Maverick. We don't have them. I mean, they go.
Lex, did you note that? we're on it, Ryan. We're on it. We'll get you on there. I love that. I like that. So maybe after this, I'd love to circle back too on how's that coming into FUB, and there might be something with automations 2.0.
Yeah, Haley said that maybe in automation 2.0 they can do it where it triggers it. But again, she has a smart list that does it, but there's, because you guys use tags, you can't trigger it off of. But it's really, when we looked at the smart list, we're like, holy shit. Yeah. We had like 60 people opt out in like 1 month. I'm like, and then expiring, we didn't realize they were expiring. We didn't realize they were opting out. And then we can go back and figure out, is agents being opted out a lot more we didn't even know, right? We can train on that. Like, why are you being dropped? Did you even know you were being dropped? All that, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. I wanted to, well, let's chat. I would love to go deeper in that, see how we can bring that in, because I bet there's an automation. Then we can create a rule within here to bring it up. Then you guys can mass nudge or reassign if you need to ISAs or any of that stuff. Love it. Anything else on Agent Snapshot that anybody's doing?
One quick thing, interesting insight that we found out as well too. When Zillow dropped their performance level with colors, like if you're high, you're green, red. So this kind of mirrored when we pulled it. It dropped at around the same time. So now they're all focused on the color. So that was
that medium one.
That helped us out as well.
So Rachel went exactly where I was thinking. So I love this report because it's, and sometimes they might be the same or different. Like this one's the same one. So it's telling you where you're excelling, right? Where are you making the most activity? But the next one is what's coming up at risk. And I bet if you started watching that metric, a lot of those are going to be in this middle one, right? And sometimes they're different, sometimes they're the same. Because if you're far behind on one, let's say it's mostly red, and you start calling, it's going to pop to where you're working the most. But you still may have a lot that are about to go into the red. So I'm guessing if you're watching that metric, or if that's something you're focusing on one-on-ones, on your team meetings, huddles, and things like that, I bet they're shown right there. Every agent would see where they're about to start hitting that with Zillow. So I love that. There was another right up front here.
I heard somebody say.
Oh, right.
I
And
heard
then right here.
somebody say like the agent implementation part of it. So we started like team leads should follow our own rules. You tell your agents to talk like 40% of the time during their conversations. If your one-on-ones are like, and this is just something we learned, if we're talking the entire time, maybe it's just my team, but they're not listening. So we've started like when they bring these to us on the one-on-ones, and I have to tap into it because like my director of sales knows this is something we're focusing on. So I'll sit in and their job is to pretend that this is my scorecard and they have to show up to that call ready to coach me on how they're going to improve it. And it's like when they start having to coach you, just watch how I have a toxic trait of when we do these meetings, like whoever I can tell isn't paying attention, I immediately call on them. And it's like when they know they're up and they're about to have to speak, watch how much like more engaged in this that they get.
Yeah, I love that. Right up here.
So I have the deadly rabbit hole. I use ChatGPT's browser Atlas, and then I use what is the Flex standards nationwide, and then my top team producers. I create a folder, and then when you use the browser extension, you can just go there and say, analyze this agent versus everything, and it spits it out in like 3 seconds, and then I can personally line item each thing. I already know who my lazy asses are, so it like smacks you straight in the face. But I created a bunch of folders within ChatGPT, so every time I use the Atlas browser, when I go into Maverick, it's like 3 seconds. So I'm mastering it first, and then I'm gonna hand it over to an ISA and say, I expect this on my desk every Monday morning, and to kind of also, in order to continue getting flex leads on our team, you have to score 3 8s out of a 10 by Sunday evening. And to be honest, I don't care if they don't do it. I'm just pause it. One of my agents texted my wife today and was like, hey, I haven't gotten any leads in a couple of weeks. Well, you're an adult, when you go to use your American Express and you don't pay the bill, it's not going to work. She said, is there a reason why? And tell her, yeah, because you're not doing your job. I mean, I'm not here to babysit adults.
Yeah.
But if you're not using ChatGPT Atlas, you should.
That's awesome.
So I'm about to say.
That's a good tip right there. I love that. I want to get to the next section here in a little bit, but I am curious, one thing that somebody hasn't brought up, and I'd love to hear, what are your practices or timing when it comes to the nudges? Because I know something in office hours, so I'd love to hear when you guys are nudging, how often you're nudging. Is it different per rule? What are some of your favorite things to nudge on? Because I think that's an area that when I meet with people and some of the CSM reps, that a lot of agents and team leads or sales managers are afraid to nudge. So I'm seeing hands all over the place going up here. So please share, because I think this is a missed opportunity for a lot of teams. Real quick. Who is not nudging on have an actual scheduled cadence to nudge? And it's okay, because most do not, because we can see how many of y'all are nudging in the background. So we see hands not going up.
One thing that we changed is Johnny, my sales director, started because I don't oversee the sales team, but he started logging in as me and nudging, and it started working a little bit better.
Nice. Any specifics on nudge? Yeah, and I'd love for certain rules and stuff.
So I follow the standard. I learned it from Daniel Keaton a while back. Nudge on Monday morning and reassign on Friday afternoon. That's been very helpful for me. We picked it up a lot in the last couple. We backed off for a while. We picked it up in the last couple of weeks again. But I nudge on Monday mornings, and then I post in the group chat how many nudges we have for the whole team. Hey guys, we have 145 outstanding nudges. Please get those done by Friday. And every day I post, hey guys, down to 97 Wednesday, down to 8. And I do a countdown every day. Yeah. So people are seeing that other people are doing it. And so the people that aren't doing it see other people are doing it. Yeah. And then the people that are doing it get validated, he appreciates that I'm doing this. Yeah. And I'm reminding them in the one-on-one, they get the emails, they get the text. So my goal is by Friday, and this is what I tell myself, because I don't like reassigning leads, but this is what I tell myself. By the time we get there, if they haven't done it, they've made a conscious decision to just not follow up with this lead, and they haven't even spoke with me about it. Yep. So I don't feel really bad reassigning at that point. Yep. But I did in the beginning, so we gradually eased into it.
I'd love to go deeper there, because I've heard this for a few, and we were struggling with it as well. And for us, it wasn't until we were consistently nudging, then we didn't feel bad about it anymore. When it was the random nudges, then it was I should be reassigning it. But when it was the consistent cadence now of nudging, now it was easier to have a consistent reassignment.
Yeah, it's normal for me and it's normal for them.
Yeah.
Um,
Any favorite one that you're nudging on that you're seeing the most movement from?
I keep it pretty hot, warm, cold. I keep it pretty
Okay.
standard. I stick to those because I know
Okay.
the agents are pretty good on the team at following up when they see activity. I'm in the database all the time. Like, hey,
Got
this
it.
person just hearted this
Yeah.
property. I try to be in real time with that. But on a weekly basis, I try to do hot, warm, cold because I know at a minimum, if they're sort of following up with
Right.
people at those specific times, the leads in general are going to get taken care of.
Who else?
I used to. I don't anymore. Yeah. Yeah. It's once again, like if we get to that point, we all have this understanding you've chosen to not follow up with this lead. And during the course of our one-on-ones during the week, I pull up the outstanding nudges. I'm like, hey, what's going on with this person? So I'm willing to help them to put together a text. I leave text messages on the page and the follow-up us notes. Hey, just copy and paste, send this to the person. And if they're not willing to do that, I'm more scared of.
What's moving the needle more in terms of the client contact? Is it just this constant cadence you have to process, or is it, or to what extent is it the threat of the reassignment is what I'm getting at, versus just the fact that the team has the visibility, right, into what's happening?
I think it's a mix because I mean, there's the negative, there's the stick, hey, you're going to get this reassigned at the end of the week, but then there's the positive of like during the week, I'm in there with them. I'm leaving them detailed bullet points. Hey, call this person and say this, or hey, send this email. Literally, if I could log into your account, I would send it myself, but here's a text message in the notes, copy and paste it. So I think I don't get as much pushback as I used to because I'm willing to get in there and help them overcome not knowing what to say or feeling like they're bothering this person when they're 6 months out.
Rewards or awards for like, congrats to Tim Smith who cleared 100% of his nudges this week, or things like that yet?
No, I do it more at a team level. I should do that. But the people that are always up to date, they know because I tell them this. If I see someone else slacking, I don't just reassign to a pond. I'm like, hey, here's a lead for you. Or hey, this local lead came in and so didn't call it within 24 hours. Here, this is for you. So there's two things. A, it rewards the people who are on top of their stuff. And B, it also lets them know, hey, if you're not doing your thing, I'm going to give this to someone else. So everyone sort of knows what's going on. And I think that just atmosphere and me doing it regularly over and over and over again, and I'm willing to help them.
Everyone every week, every single agent every week who clears their nudges could get like entrance into a lottery, which happens once a business quarter or once every 6 months, to win something. And that could, so you don't just have the stick, you also have the carrot.
Absolutely.
For all these sources?
Everything, yeah. Not Sphere, but anything pay, and not Sphere. So like, but Zillow, PPC, Ylopo, Realtor, all that stuff. Anything we pay for, it's burning money. I'm more scared of losing money than offending someone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's interesting on that, I want to move. If anybody else is nudging reassign. Oh, sure.
Very similar. We nudge them on everything, actually. And so I couldn't recite the rules to you because I have another guy that handles that. But we even nudge them on, I have a rule 30 day after close of escrow, you follow up to see how everything's going. And then every 90 days from there on.
Yeah.
And so we even nudge them on that because I have agents now that have closed, 500-600 transactions all time.
Yeah.
And so they need to be contacting their past clients every 90 days. So they get nudged on that as well. But it's solved a lot of problems. They know, especially on anything that's assigned or purchased, like if it's a nurture and there's not a 30-day follow-up, there's a nudge. And then they're getting swept, basically. They're losing them.
Yeah.
And we started doing it more of like a call to the board, at the team meetings, like, let's see who's got the most nudges, or let's see who hit their 2-minute conversations. And so that accountability side, I think like this guy was saying too, like when they know they're going to get called out randomly, they're paying more attention. And, we have a little wah thing we do, whatever. But yeah. So.
One thing too, because I get, to chat with a lot of you in different, what I've seen, similar to what Danny, what you're just talking about as well, is I think the power of it is getting consistent, like with anything. Because what we were noticing is if you weren't reassigning, they're seeing all those nudges come through, right, in the history. But what happened was once the consistency of reassignment started happening, agents are getting leads that they see the nudge, and they're seeing that reassignment. So now when they get nudged, they're knowing what that looks like, right? So it took that consistency of actually following through on what was going on for everybody to then start realizing, okay, these are just not another note getting put on here, because agents started seeing that they were getting reassignments to them. So I thought it was massive. Let's go over here and then up front.
Okay, Kyle first.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of you guys are doing this, but we have a smart list that is called like at risk of reassignment. it's very simple. It's like if the tag is there, it's at risk of reassignment. And we do the same cadence. We do a Wednesday.
The nudge tag, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
margin of outstanding
Yep.
is there because it's automated where once they take the action, the tag goes away. So, you know, it has like the red exclamation emojis and all that. And the agents like take that one pretty seriously. So they're very aware of it. Like everyone's like really hammering on Thursdays because we do Monday morning as well. We do a second one on Wednesday just to throw it in there, but then Friday's the reassigning day, and we don't tell people when their leads are pulled from them. So it like I can't think of a single dramatic conversation that's been had because it's just that's the precedent. And then to your point, agents are receiving reassigned
It's
leads, so
huge.
they know we're not full of shit.
Yep.
So
And they see the nudges in there. That's when it started clicking. That when we were looking into the one-on-ones, and all of a sudden they're like, "Wow, we just saw these reassignments. I just got this because so and so was reassigned." Right? There's nowhere to hide at that point. So then it started becoming real. But it took the consistency. When it was just every now and then, it just didn't work.
Well, and you know, I've found that with the nudging, specifically with the Zillow Flex team, you know, you're getting opportunities where Zillow has basically set an appointment for you already, and just don't screw it up. And so the whole sales team is appropriately focused on not screwing up that magic moment. And you know, to be able to have an organization where you're able to take leads that are being neglected consistently and programmatically, you're telling your agents that, you know, we're not going to leave any leads behind. And what I've been able to do is I've got, you know, a team A, team B. Team A, they're my killers. They're getting the flex transfers. They're crushing it, right? Well, the leads that get reassigned, I put them on team B. So these are the people that are trying to prove themselves, right? So when we do the lead sweep and we take the leads that are out of compliance in our organization, I've basically built a new opportunity in my organization that didn't exist before without spending any additional money. So and so then what we started to do was we started to, because I have more of a carrot culture. It's not a punitive culture. It just doesn't match my energy. So like, you know, I'm not used to like taking things from my agents. But what I did was over a series of time, I helped them to see I was actually doing them a favor. Like they are overwhelmed at their job right now. They're not managing it well. And so I'm going to provide you with clarity by, look, the guy called you back on a Monday, it's now Friday, and you haven't called him back. Like, that's a problem. Let's just give it to somebody else that's excited about it. Then everybody buys into it, and they're not mad. They just understand that we have a job to do. And then you make them feel bad by saying you're really doing a disservice to the consumer, right? Like, they've never called you back. So you get them to buy into this process, and you have a bench of people that are trying to prove themselves to get on the team A, to get those flex transfers, and it's all through AI doing this for you. And that's where really, I think the iterative benefits of having technology like this really starts to magnify your profit margin.
Yeah, I love that. And we pulled up some, I think we're at Daniel's, but have you guys gone in and create specific rules for your flex leads, right? You get all of those tags, all that stuff coming through, giving you insight what's happening on there. So you really should be coming in and customizing those rules to help you see what's going on, right? So if you have not done that, that's one I'd be writing down to go in and create your Zillow rules and alerts within the system, because it's all customizable. And if you don't have a list of all the tags that they're pushing through, just reach out to your CSM. I've created a whole spreadsheet of all the different tags that come through and what they mean, so you guys can customize those rules and alerts. So, and then Barry hit on one more, just I'm going to add. We're obsessed with, and this is one Levy and I started working on months ago, but I think it's in the top section, the missed calls, especially with high quality leads like Zillow. You get a lot of missed calls that are not getting called back. So 6 out of 35 here. We're obsessed with this. This is now a 3 times a day. And people freak out about that. You're not nudging everybody on your team 3 times a day. It's only the agents that have missed a call, that have not called and text back. We have 2 hours on ours. I would be obsessed with this one, especially as they're getting more comfortable making outbound phone calls using AI Sales Coach. They start calling more and more. When you make more outbound phone calls, you start getting more returned phone calls. So this is one of the rules and alerts. If you're not obsessed with it, I would get really obsessed with.
Yeah, I was going to say, we sweep, we don't sweep Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, because I get it, life happens sometimes, but we sweep everything to a pond, the sweat pond. And if you do everything to our standards, you have access to that pond. But I also have an ISA team that's calling. And if they set the appointment, they give it back to the agent, but it costs the agent 10% and $500. So it kind of keeps everybody motivated, because it's just, tell them, hey, if you want it back and you worked it, you should have continued to work it, continuously. And if not, then you're going to pay the piper.
I love it. All right, I know just time-wise, sorry. I want to go through some of the updates. You want to talk about some of the updates and stuff that have happened? I think we've talked about some. I just want to make sure that we hit on all of them.
We honestly hit, I think, most of them. Yeah, you talked about customized grading, you talked about customized rules, you talked about coach personas, talked about the new dashboard and the agent snapshot. So
this was a test.
You beat us to it.
It was a test to see if they organically came up, but they did.
Yeah.
So we passed. All right, I want to spend a few minutes, and I'm going to jump into section 2, improve and expand. Oh, I thought you were pointing at Brady. Did I miss? Oh, like, did I miss something? So this is areas where I'd love like some vulnerability, some areas, and maybe it's something you've already heard, but areas within, and maybe if you want to go back into Mav and just show all the options at the top. This is areas where you'd like to get better, understand more about. We've got people who have built it, probably others that are using it. So just curious if there are areas that you haven't gotten into that you guys would like to get deeper into. Who in here has ISAs? Is there a handful? Is it okay? Keep your hands up. Who has ISAs? Are you keep your hand up if you're using Pro Dispatch? Okay. So I would love to I've learned from you. I'd love to. Can you just give an overview what Pro Dispatch is and why it should be used? Let me get a microphone. Where is it at? Hold on. This is one that we're really obsessed with right now as we're getting more ISAs, call center reps, calling to stay on top of all the priority alerts. And we were failing tracking a lot of it. And I'll just own it. As I started listening to Danny talk about this, Daniel Keaton talk about this, I was just like, holy crap, this replaces like 4 different spreadsheets.
Yes. Okay. So we have 6 ISAs, 3 VAs that support them. They're really the engine to our team in a lot of ways. So in this report, the unique thing about it is everything in here is only what flows through them. So if it's like a Zillow Flex lead that goes directly to the agent, that's not in here. If it goes to them and they distribute it. One of the great parts about it is it's an algorithm that decides who should get the lead. I don't really know any other product that's doing that, at least on our level, as far as team level. I'm sure that's happening on the Zillow and other company level, but it distributes it based on who has a capacity remaining and who has the highest conversion rate for that lead in that particular area. And that's, to me, that's where money is. It's funneling opportunities away from the folks who aren't doing as well and giving it to the people who either had the capacity and are doing well with it. So there's a lot of great reportings. I'm constantly looking at conversion rate, constantly looking at the conversion rate under deal details, and I always sort. I always want to see who's doing well, who's struggling. Either one, the actual conversion rate. So I sort by that. And so our standard is 10%, for example, in a 12-month period, but that just goes back to year to date. So as long as you're doing 10%, you're getting 10 leads at least a month.
Yeah, I'm hoping there are questions in this section because this is crazy on what it's tracking, how it's going. I like. Wait, I'm going to come back to him real quick. Sorry, he doesn't get off that easy. Because you said something in there too about who has capacity, right? Because I think this is what I'm seeing a lot, especially with like some flex teams and stuff, overfeeding, getting past that point of diminishing returns.
Yeah, our last flex call, we started looking at how many flex leads some of our agents have gotten, and some people that might be struggling with efficiency, the first thing you look at is they got way too many. And it's interesting because Zillow doesn't, to my knowledge, has a way to stop it. Like when people have got a lot, like we have to pause them, they pause them. But through this tool, you preset what you want each person to be, and then it will stop it. It will stop it in a rolling 30-day period. And I'm telling you, I've learned the term destructive abundance, that too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and people actually will sell less houses with more leads.
We see it all the time, right? You start going in there, and I've jumped on some of these calls where someone's like, oh, this is my top converter, this is my top converter, and they're not. They might not even be in the top tier, right? They've just taken way more, so they've got more closings, but their conversion substantially less. So wait, one second, hold on one second. I'm gonna get the microphone.
How am I getting the leads to stop flowing? You set through the configurations, like right now, the target number right there. Once they've gotten 10 in the 30-day period, they don't see another one unless we increase it. So right now, our team has too many leads and not enough agents. So we've actually given everybody extra credit. So everybody has 10. Otherwise, a lot more people would be at like 5, honestly.
Yeah, and again, these are the ones they're distributing out, right? It doesn't track the ones that go straight to them. This is
Correct.
the ones that his team's going back in and setting appointments on and pushing back out, right?
Yep.
I saw a hand over here, I thought. Right.
There's a lot of cool data in there. I mean, the appointment type is a huge thing. You know, when we started analyzing it, like these are all the appointment types that we send out. An agent might think, oh, I don't want to do a virtual consult because it doesn't sell as many houses. But like when I can show them the data, actually it does, you know? And so the types of appointments are really important. So I think it's important to know. Yeah.
And then also, I want to make sure, for those that are thinking about doing this, the way it distributes out too is it goes through your highest converters first. And so it's
Yep.
rewarding those that are converting.
Works
It's-
down
it's
the list. Yeah.
feeding
Offers it to
the
somebody
ones that are
first.
killing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it creates a list of agents eligible and then offers it to the highest converter first when you have it preset to the algorithm. And then it just goes down because not everybody's going to grab it at the top because they're not always available. And so it just keeps working its way down till you get to the person who most likely is going to make you money.
Anybody else? Any other questions on Pro Dispatch? I think it's an area, you guys aren't using it yet. So you and I are going to be chatting to get you guys in there. Game changer on there and how it's processing everything out and where it's going. All right. That have ISAs. Yeah. Only a couple. Yeah. Yeah. So this will be a big one that I would love to even maybe, let's make note, just doing a full session just based on this. Because as I started digging, you know, and honestly, like when I started learning more about it, I didn't know it went as deep as it did until I started going in. And now we're funneling everything through here. We're also funneling our referrals kind of through here, how the agents are doing it. So a lot of use case in here, how we're setting it up and using it go out. The other one that came up was sales manager report. Anybody using the sales manager report? This is based on a survey coming back that you guys said you probably need some help using sales manager report. So Colton, you said you're using it a fair amount? Just how you use it or what are you guys looking for?
Correction, my director of sales uses it.
Perfect. Put you on the spot. You want to pull up in here. So you guys are not using, I know Dana, you guys are using, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So one of my favorite columns is reassigned. And, you know, if you go back far enough and you start clicking on the reassign, so this is really effective, right? So you can take a lead away from an agent. I found that half, if not more than half the time, they don't even know in our world because there's so many leads. Every once in a while, somebody's like, hey, I'm missing this guy. It's like, yeah, we took him away from you a month ago, right? But if we go through this and we show the reassign, and if you find someone and you go back far enough, I think it defaults to like 30 days. But I look back a year or 2 years, you start to see all the leads taken away and then have converted with another agent. And you sit down, you show an agent that, it is like really harsh mirror to look into, but really effective.
Are you guys following where this is coming from? to actual show
type. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she's got any necessarily. Like if you go to closed under contract stage, might not be any from her. She's a relatively new agent. Oh, there's okay. So two leads that she had at one point closed with other agents, and she's only been with us less than a year. So that's when people realize what they're missing.
Makes sense, guy. Like
yeah, and sorry.
No, go.
You know, and we're flex team, but we have other types of leads. Zillow looks at this report. They probably know deep somewhere, but my advisor is amazed by this because he doesn't have this stuff. When with Flex, you have to keep the lead with the agent, and so they hold it hostage, so to speak. But I can hold them accountable and still see what happens with the lead.
So where this gets really interesting is going back to what we were just talking about, being consistent with nudging on things that are falling, being consistent on now reassigning it to those agents that aren't over capacity, that are converting, and then you go back and start looking at this list, and it's telling a different story, right? It's showing how high quality the opportunities and everything are. And by nudging and monitoring and getting them to the agents that are going to do the expected steps, they get to closing. So who's going to use this report now? More. This report? Pro Dispatch is in here also. Yeah, that's all in here. Yep.
They
just
upgraded last week, so we're working on it.
Yeah, it is part of the Pro package. The question was, is Pro Dispatch part of Maverick or is it separate? It is part of the Maverick Pro. So you guys just got on there. So you'll see that ISA reports and that Pro Dispatch section. When you're on the Pro account, will start popping in there. So What's that? Sales manager. Yeah, sales manager. Yes. All right. Any other questions on that? All right. Colton. I don't know how long his list is. I know we've already got one.
It's very long.
So I.
These are of notes. It's not bad things. It's good things.
So
feature requests.
we're gonna jump in here. We've got some things we're gonna share with you that are being worked on, and I know we heard one, and I'm glad it came up without me saying it, but loud and clear, and they weren't kidding. Almost every single meeting, I'm like, if there's a number, please make it clickable.
It makes
so
zero sense.
We've got that one on the list.
It has to be that one.
So-
the other, we're missing KPIs that matter. Like I do. This system is 1,000 times better than what Sisu is. It's way more effective. It creates way more efficiencies. However, it had way more visibility, and driving the one-on-ones was so much more clear, and which is why we did this. But it's missing some of the most important KPIs. So it's like we have it to appointment set, appointment met, and it's like any agent with a pulse can take a Zillow lead and meet them, which are the KPIs that we're watching. And it's like, but what I need to know is how many of those agents passed the first date? How many of those agents got them to signed, got them to submitted, got them to pended, got them to closed? And it's like, those KPIs have to be there during our one-on-ones. Because it's like, cool, you went on a first date, but nobody had any interest in progressing the relationship with you. I don't have transparency into that. So it's literally missing the most effective part.
Basically between appointment met and closed, you want more info.
Yeah, like everything for me that tells me who's a good agent is what's missing.
Why don't, this is great stuff, and I'm obsessed with this stuff. I mean, this is the birthplace of Maverick, 15 years ago, which is every single important stage of the funnel. But your critically important stages might be different than Daniel's critically important stages. What
Anybody on Zillow, this is important to them.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, let's get 4 or 5 power users together.
Got it.
Let's do a Zoom. Let's get that done ASAP, and let's create those critical stages, and let's get it done.
Cool.
I am working to make these clickable per Gabe and
Per all of
everybody's
you.
requests. So with that, you'd be able to click in to see who has not done that. But then I would like to know which columns to add into the 10 leads who have met, what other information you'd like to see in between that closed deal portion. Because yes, it would be different between different.
So anybody in here, we're all on the same exact ones, and it's Zillow's exact stages. So it's like the met, the signed, the submitted, the pended. Like that's not different for anybody in here. Those are the exact metrics that we get graded on.
And it's everything. It's not just
Yeah.
Zillow, right? We want to know that for everyone.
They showed us what was so important because we're like, oh, like they taught us how to really manage this well, and it's like it's just the most important part. Yeah. So you can do showing homes or signed. I'm just accustomed to saying signed because that's what Sisu was.
And that's signed buyer agreement?
Buyer brokerage, yeah, and or listing agreement. So appointments gone on. So the metrics all go parallel. It can be submitted / signed for agents, and you can create your own rules within that metric.
The ones that they kick the nurture, but then another agent picks up within 3 days, and then they're writing an offer within 30.
That's
Then
where it gets sloppy.
Yep, that's where I'm like, wait, you kicked it to nurture, but how did he get it under contract in 10 days? And it would be, there's something else I use that I can track that, but it would be great just to have it all in one place to see the drop off, because I have agents that get all the way down and then it goes to nurture after appointment set.
And I do get you guys have absolutely killed this. So no, I'm like being nitpicky. This has all been incredible. But it's and I know those nuances are what make this so difficult. But those nuances aren't the majority, and I would rather have accuracy into the majority than the nuanced, isolated incidents.
I mean, that's what gets to the next level, right? Some of the finessing, and as we're doing, right, we know this is V1. We just released this 2 months ago, 3-ish. So that's why we want to hear this, right? Is how do we take something once we've got it, and we're using it, and get it to that next level?
And if I could double down on what he said, having the agent stuff, so we didn't have to click back and forth between the reports, that would also be awesome. Like the ask and the acceptance, everything we know we're coaching to, if it were visible here, that would be awesome. I know we're complaining over clicking.
Just one question. When you click onto this little call to action now, it does pull up to the individual, agent overview. So you'd want to see just this
Oh, got it.
within here.
Would you want
now?
to like expand down versus into a new tab?
Wish my director of sales was here.
You can get back to it.
This seems fine for me. I would just tell him to stop bitching then.
I love it. All right, others. We had a few that came in. Was other wish list items, things that you guys are seeing, things that you want for us.
All right, we'll start with you, Mike.
Thank you.
You put on your gym shoes today, Lex.
One of the I put it in the feature voting some time back. I think I got 1 vote on it, so I don't know if that's gonna I don't know if it's gonna make it the distance. But for nudging specifically, we do tons of nudges every day. If you went into our back end, you would see that, right? And so we actually use Gabe, it was actually after your training. Ever since you were preaching to our agents about let us nudge, let us keep them accountable on their SOI leads because they're making more money on those. And as soon as that was said, it was, oh yeah, and with the pro package, now we have enough seats. Now, especially everyone's super bought into it. So with that, now we're sending out tons and tons and tons of nudges. And some agents who were so gung-ho and ready to do this are now not responding to the nudges, whatever the case is. And so we have a VA that will shoot out, I don't know, 500 nudges maybe in the first hour of the day, something like that. And again, this is on 110 agents for us in our case, all different lead sources, all different things. And as far as she's concerned, they all hold the same weight. She knows the Zillows for our sake are a little bit more important. But at the end of the day, what I have to ask her is, I mean, who are the problems today? Like what's the completion percentage per agent, or who's like really giving you problems, who's not responding, who's not updating them. We've tried a couple things with Smart Lists with the nudge outstanding. In fact, Ryan Netter's been helping us build an automation around that. That's been really cool, but it's still a work in progress. But if we had a centralized dashboard of just showing Wally, not really, is our huge problem, and he never responds to nudges. He's this many outstanding, and we're pretty reassigned adverse. We don't do a whole lot of that because we don't want to. We try and get ahead of that so we don't have to do that. But my VA tells me XYZ agents are super problematic. They never respond. And, you know, we do our version of sending the bloodhounds on them, right? Me, Hedda, whoever's, you know, blowing their phone up saying, hey, you need to respond to these. If we can get ahead of that earlier in the day, getting, you know, I guess finding out who those agents are earlier in the day, who's filling them out at what times and whatnot, maybe I'm totally overlooking something if someone has a solution to
There's
that.
no main screen that just shows like all the nudges and then like each person with like am I missing that? You have to dig in, right?
I guess that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Can we go to one nudge screen that would just show everything by agent and we see if they're in the red zone, like they're a sucking nudger or whatever?
Yeah, there's not like nudge reporting yet.
And
so could we get that on one page that would just show the entire team level where we say, hey, these 20 agents really suck all the time. They've like literally. And make it clickable?
Everything's doable. We can, yes.
Is that really hard to make that combine into one page? Because it is a lot when you're clicking through multiple screens, right? Sorry.
At the
I'm
agent
agreeing
level,
with you, so yeah.
At the agent level, I don't think that is difficult. It's not like an too high of a mountain to climb. It's more so just trying to also make sure we're prioritizing that based off of like everything else. But that is definitely something that is on the roadmap, nudging reporting.
Because we try and get ahead of the issues before they happen. So that's why we want something like that. We also use your strategy too. I'll have them, the VA will use my account and do dash Mike at the end of the, no, that helps. But anyway, just to get ahead.
Yeah.
And that's also why we delayed our upgrade to the pro plan is when we had just 20 seats. It was super exclusive. Only the top producers got to use it. And now we're buying into it really heavily. Now that everyone's on it, I kind of don't like that everyone's on it because some people are just taking advantage of a sweet deal we got. So, because, yeah, anyway, that's right.
Anybody else? You've got the dev team, you got product.
This was kind of inspired by what you said about, scrubbing like top producer type metrics. I would love, because some of my top agents are comparing themselves to like crappy agents on my team. I would love if like of all the Maverick users, there were just like, here's how the top 5% of agents, like what their numbers, their appointment at, just all that stuff would be really cool. Cause I'm trying to bring my like top people higher. That'd be one note. And then the other one, maybe I'm just missing it, but I take a lot of time when I have to fill questions out about like, okay, what percentage of my business comes from this, from this, from this. The lead source report, like you can get super like in the weeds with specific ones, but am I missing just like a pie chart that shows where all our production comes like by source?
At this point, it is just individual lead source, but would like to,
Aggregate.
That'd be dope.
yeah. So you can compare specific ones, not even just all of them together if you want to just focus in.
So, we're recording all this, we're getting all your suggestions, why we're having this mastermind. What I'd like you all to do as a homework assignment, if you think about, okay, well, it's always sort of like, what are we going to emphasize first, then second, then third, right? So I want you to think about, let's go back to the first thing I said today, which is what's going to create more sales more quickly, right? Because every single suggestion you guys have made is priceless, is amazing. But when you think about everything you've heard today, what we'd love to do is get feedback from you and saying, okay, this was amazing, amazing, amazing. I want all of this tomorrow, but I'm not going to get all this tomorrow. This is the one I need to have now to create more sales more quickly. Use that as your ranking of what you want to see first, second, third, fourth. That would be really helpful for us.
And I don't know if you knew this, but we're actually going to take everything from the recordings, everything discussed, all the feature requests, all the pain points as far as what we need to do more, and we'll put these in another follow-up, just like we sent out the survey. So on the feature request stuff, everything that we cover, we've got some updates from product that they're also going to do and highlight, and we'll send that back out. So please respond, because we want you guys are taking the time, showing up here. We want that voice back to understand what is most important to you, right? It's going to be different, but we'd like to see what that overall voice is. All right. Anything else? Because I'm going to hand it over. I was waiting. I'm like, it was in here like 3 times. Hold on a second. Where's the mic at?
Oh, I got it. My
All
bad.
right. Yeah, here we go. I got 4. I think it was probably the number 1 request back. I'm like, how's nobody right here? Like, right front.
Brian, my bad.
Bring it up.
Is setting up the automation of nudges so it's a plug and play and I can leave it alone. And then downloading, you can only download 1 sheet at a time. So I have to take screenshots of every single one and then throw it into GPT, where it'd be nice if I could just download all 5 files or all 5 pages as 1 file. But we've talked about
Yes.
I've already said this one before. Yep.
Yes. Well, I think in some of these I'm excited, some of the updates, because there's some great updates coming and betas coming right around the corner.
I have a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Since you're a kind of AI super user, you're already using an agent mode for Maverick. If you're thinking downloading things, would you want to download a PDF where then it has to or would you just want like a markdown file that's ready for AI?
Yeah, probably just a markdown file. So that and one of the things like using Atlas, yeah. So, but even with like Atlas, it's only reading the 1 page. So it was just easier to screenshot every single page, throw it in there, and then tell it to summarize and act as a conversion expert and show me where my leakage is on my team, and then help them with a positive report on how they can, close more transactions next month. So yes, deep down the rabbit hole. Deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, so we're gonna get an update on some releases coming, some betas about to open up. We want to give you guys an update, and then a little bit more future updates. G, Brady, Rachel, you guys are running with those. And then I just want it back before we release everybody at the end.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, all right.
Cool. Okay. A couple of things coming up. First thing is 2 new appointment rule triggers. So you'll still be able to customize these, but first is for the appointment not met, right? So if they actually had the appointment scheduled, they did put in there that the person didn't show up, but then they didn't do any follow-up action, call, or update the stage from there. You can nudge them on that now. So get them to follow up and reset the meeting. And then another one that's actually for the no outcome at all. So this is one that Gabe's been really harping on the appointments report. There's that section where, again, they didn't put anything at all. There's not a met, not met, what happened. It's just blank. So you'll be able to nudge on those and say, hey, you need to go and update that outcome and make sure that there is at least a met or not met status there. So those are coming very, very soon. Those will be out before the end of the year. Automations for rules and alerts.
Yes.
So we heard you. We know this is a very highly requested feature. This is actively in development. For the automated nudges, we're targeting the beginning of January right now. For the automated reassignments, that's coming a little bit later towards the end of January, so not much longer to wait. we want to release it in phases and get it out to you guys as fast as possible. So that's the best way to do it. So those will be coming very, very soon. Again, you can see some of the interface on there, right? Like you can set when you want to nudge, if it's a certain time of the week, right? Your Monday nudge that you use, Keaton and others using here, or if you want to do it based on other criteria, the reassignments as well based on max nudges. So, hey, I set my max for 3. As soon as I get 3 nudges on that lead, we're going to yank right away. Or you can do it after a certain amount of time since the original pass due. So all sorts of different settings, both for the automated nudges and the reassignments. Next here, so a lot of exploration. This is coming 2026 at some point. We don't know yet. Still in the lab, still cooking stuff up. But really want to get a lot deeper in terms of the scoring on individual leads and the scoring on an agent, right? So we know that there are a lot of KPIs you track, a lot of goals you track. You know, the goals page right now is like 16 different things. We want to try and roll as much as we can up into a single score. And so the way to think about this, one example, right? We want to start doing a different way of the AI grading. You can still have all your customizations, you can still have the question-based, but we want to move to language analysis. So we want to say, okay, this lead on the initial prospecting call used a lot of like, you know, I want to get the house now, I'm pre-qualified, let's go, I want a tour. We're going to give that lead a very like high, hot score, right? Like this is one that wants to go now. Then we're going to build in the rules and alerts data. So now, okay, you had a really high, hot lead, and then, okay, your rules and alerts, you missed a call, that's going to drop your score. You forgot to do this action, that's going to drop your score. And then we'll highlight those things on this dashboard where it's very easy to see, okay, yeah, you had a great opportunity and you're missing it and you're starting to get these nudges and where is it? So this is like a hit list for the agents. And then again, they'll be able to see like their capacity is one element of the score, right? Like it looks like you're just taking on too much, you don't have enough time for the leads. All of that will aggregate together into a single score. We're also playing around with badges. It's not displayed here, but I was curious when you guys mentioned earlier about the certification of certain lead types with the AI coach. So something there where maybe if they do a certain number of calls, they get that score that you guys talked about, then they'd get that badge, which would serve as the certification. You guys could track that, they could track that. So that's part of it as well. Next, no, we'll skip that. For this one, this is actually a manager view of the same thing. So again, what you just saw was the agent logging in and viewing their own hit list. This one rolls it up across all agents to your team. So you can get like kind of an overall team score. You can see the breakdown by agent. You can also see across all your agents those hottest leads and where they're starting to fall down, and then go and start to talk to agents or go into the nudging system. So this will just give you kind of a nice broad view of what's going on across all your agents with that scoring. So that's coming soon, 2026. And then, yeah, let's talk a little bit about AI. So I don't know if we're going to necessarily beat Atlas, but we want to do something a little interesting here. So actually, if you pull it up, we made a little browser extension. And so it works similarly to how you're using Atlas and the screenshotting. This is just going to be basically a free beta that we give away to all you guys who have Maverick in here. This only works on Maverick pages. And so basically, you'll go to any screen. It'll take a look at what's on the screen. It'll suggest 2 questions if you don't know what to ask, but you can ask it whatever you want. And then from there, right, like, hey, what should I talk about in this one-on-one? What are my biggest takeaways? It'll just spit out the answer right then and there for you within that browser extension. So we had a QR code up on there. You'll need to request access. It's a little tricky. There'll be a README in there on how to install it on your Chrome browser. But this will be accessible to you guys as soon as you request access and get it. So you can add it to your Chrome and start asking questions and getting answers directly from AI in Maverick itself.
So we just do the QR code to request it?
Yeah.
You dirty little birdie.
So really quickly, yeah, go ahead and ask the question, then I'll follow up. Mike?
Keep going.
Yeah. So again, this will be a beta version. This one's based on screenshots on the page, really important like caveat here. So you'll need to show it what you want it to analyze. Again, the problem won't be able to go to individual pages. What we're going to do when we actually release this wide to everybody in Maverick, because right now you're the only ones that will have this in this room. We will not wide release this to everybody until it's ready. We're actually going to let it call into our database. So now you don't need to look at a specific thing. You can just ask it a question. It'll go through all of your available data and answer your question. So that's coming in 2026. All right, next. So last but not least, our recruiting module. So we talked a little bit about capacity planning and all that. The core of this would essentially be the top screen there, which shows again, your overall team capacity, but also breaks it down by agent. This is based on an estimate that you'll plug in. Actually, if you pull up the site. So this is just an early prototype. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on styling and functionality and everything. Oh, it's a private website. Shoot. Gabe doesn't have access.
Just speak to it.
Yeah? Okay, I'll speak to it. So yeah, go back to the screenshot. Yeah, essentially you'll be able to put estimates in showing, okay, this is how many calls, this is how long those calls should take per lead per week, this is how many emails, this is how many texts. And so, for example, if it takes an hour and 30 minutes to do all those activities, then that means that your agents only have so much time for that kind of prospecting and follow-up activity, and they should not have more than X number of leads because of the amount of time that it takes. And so then you'll be able to see visually, okay, yeah, that agent's way over capacity, way under capacity, or kind of in the ideal range, and then aggregate that all up into your team score. Yep. The bottom screenshot is, okay, right there at the top, actually, where it says recruiting urgently recommended search now, right? Like that's if you're massively over capacity. You click that button, you can then do a search for agents that match certain criteria that you need. They're good with investors. Maybe they're like, you know, dropping off in terms of sales production.
I know, I'm like, hold on a second here. Hold on.
So I'll finish and then we'll go to questions.
Yeah, let us finish getting through it first.
So then, again, you can push that to your CRM, to your recruiter, do the same kind of monitoring of their activity that you do for your agent's production. And then basically, if you need, they also will generate messages that are personalized, call, text, and email that you can then leverage for the recruiter to call out to and talk to those folks. So
what we're doing here is we on the Ylopo side, obviously integrated with every MLS, right? So we are going to provide you a searchable interface where you can, based on the type of agent you're looking for, type of production that they've done, etc., and triggers of the agents that we think are best suited for you to poach, so to speak, right? So they had a certain amount of production in one quarter, their production has decreased that quarter in this particular area, right? And you'll have a searchable list of all of those people based on the criteria. And one push, you can look for the list of people, let's say there's 13 people that you're talking to, that would be interesting. Push it into your CRM, right, follow boss, with a pre-populated message of what you should be talking to that person about based on your value, right? So, hey, Agent X, I see you're an agent in 90402. We have 150 leads in this area in my database that we don't have anyone working right now that we would like to refer to, right?
So send out a simple message, hey, if you're not making $10,000 a day, you're on the wrong team.
Right? So, you know, obviously we were very inspired by Coordinate.io, by Broker Kits, by a couple other platforms that already do this, you know. But I'd say that the difference between our stack versus theirs is the weaponizing of the data, right? Because we're not just saying, hey, go recruit these agents. We're saying, here's the data in Maverick that tells you, A, recruit these agents, B, what to say to these agents based on stats.
So how many folks in this room is recruiting and being born to you in 26?
Well, and I know for me, this really helps tell a story in the recruiting conversation, because it's one thing to say we have leads, it's another to say, like, based on what my team is currently doing, I have capacity for these additional agents to fill a specific slot. I use my AI to find an agent just like you, because you're a perfect match for the opportunities that are left over. And so now what I'm able to do is I'm able to grow, and I'm obsessed with, like, I really feel like we all, as our organizations, we have so much waste in our business, and the way we fix our waste is we just turn the leads up. And I'm just saying, like, hey, there's a profitability opportunity here for us to bring more people onto our bench using the leads that we already have and really ramp it up. And to be able to have AI and key analytics and magic moments in an agent's life cycle, it really is something that the industry's never seen. We've never been able to take hard team data and marry it with an agent that meets that need. This has never occurred before. So once again, Ylopo is innovating in a way to empower our business. Maverick, sorry.
Strike that from the recording.
So I have a question about this. I'm actually building out through Go High Level a recruitment video messages, right? And Corda does not have the API that will put you any of those pipeline alerts. Would this be something that could be pushed through to Go High Level so that, I mean, what we want to do, we want to build AI video messages that are customizable to the agent based off of some key.
We're going to send the agents to your CRM that you pick.
Yeah, I mean, on the recruiting side, there will be a different set of CRMs that we're focused on. I think Go High Level is one of the obvious ones, right? Right now, it's going to be Follow Boss, Bulk Trails, and Lofty as we're starting, right? But to your point, recruiting requires a different set of CRMs. I've heard a lot of Go High Level, right? So that will definitely be one that we prioritize, but that will be.
Just out of curiosity on that, other than Go High Level, are there any other CRMs that you guys are using in the room for recruiting outside Follow Boss, Go High Level? Humanize. Any others? Okay. Cool. And to that point, it's going to be pushed to that, right? So all that automation is everything you have here. It's leveraging the data, saying that you're understaffed, right? You don't have enough agents for your lead flow, what's going on, and then identifying those, pushing them to the CRM, and then you've got all your stuff in there.
So for the loading part, we're just curious, right? We're definitely doing the nudging and the automated rule assignment that's getting released in January. We're looking at the LLM conversation analytics, right? Where you can just chat in any questions that you have, and it'll answer it for you on the dashboard, and recruiting as our next two big priorities, right? Who wants
and agent scoring.
the easy button for having conversations with your data as the first priority? Okay, who wants recruiting?
Oh man. Did you have more slides?
No, that's it.
Oh, that was your last slide?
That was the last slide.
Yeah.
Question.
A couple of questions over here. Well, I want to get the mic on them.
Okay, so when it comes to the dashboards for all of the agent KPIs, since you have multiple teams on Maverick and a lot of data, is there a way to anonymize data as to like what the top 10% are doing? Like kind of a Bannister effect scenario where agents have a bar, because if I'm looking just in my team and my best agent is, let's say, in the 75th percentile, and Colton and Danny have agents that are, up there just crushing. I would love to see those numbers so that way, we could see agents have something to strive for that's outside of your team atmosphere. It doesn't have to have their names or information, but just anonymized.
Hold on one second. I just want to capture the audio. Colton over here.
I know.
And you're talking about not within your own team. You're talking about cross teams, right? How's your team, top agents, stacking up against other top? Cross.
So real
So
quick.
one, I do.
Sorry, real quick. So yeah, great idea. We will look at that for the agent snapshot in particular. And yeah, for your ISAs on theirs, we have the average. We have the.
But he's
top
talking about
performers.
to other teams. He wants to know how his top performers,
not just your teams,
within
but
the like if we
across
have
Maverick.
data across others.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
The biggest challenge with that, it has to be regionalized in order for you to take those metrics seriously.
Yeah.
And I can just say that, like, I'm from Vegas and I have my team in Orange County and I know what things were here and I know what wildly different markets. And that's why like Zillow has to do the same thing from a low price market, high units versus a high volume market, low units. Like it's just so different regionally.
Fair. Yeah, that'll be the challenge.
Yep. Love that. Ryan. Ryan left. He had a question. There was one other one I thought I was missing there on the recruiting. So right up here.
Oh,
How
Brian.
granular on the recruiting will you be able to tell listing agents versus buying agents? Sorry.
Should be able to. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be able to break it out. And will you be able to break it out by like brokerages that are listing that? I mean, they're displayed on the MLS, so you could parse out. So I'm at 100% brokerage, and we have like 6,000 agents, but there's a certain avatar that I want, and a lot of folks hang the license there. I want to cut through the muck and be all right. Who would appreciate that extra, push?
That's really interesting. Yeah, we hadn't thought about that. That should be doable though. So that makes sense. It's
And then also, I'm at 100% brokerage, so there's some others in the area that, hey, you can make X amount of dollars if you joined our team because we pay $99 a transaction. The rest of the money's yours and the split with me. Then I can show that the benefits of joining our team and the tools that we have like Maverick.
Right. Makes sense.
Well, and the lead
video text on their own to recruit. That's that final piece. We'll show you who exactly you want to target, and that final piece is you sending the video text with that message to that exact avatar.
Yes. The other thing I'll say is, where a lot of these other platforms fall down is like contact data, like a lot of these agent data that you get from the MLSs are like their office phone number, as an example, right? Part of the magic of what we do on the YLOPO side is data. We make sure we actually find these guys' personal email addresses and phone numbers, right? And that's a really big part of the platform as well.
And again, we're going to be sending out kind of a post-mastermind survey just about some of the I think we already know what's probably going to be at the top, but we'd probably like to know what's number 2, number 3. So we want to send something out as far as what you guys are looking at feature-wise, what you guys want to see, changes you want, and all that. So, so please get that back to us because we really want to hear your voices and represent what you are wanting and needing in your businesses as we're building this out.
Yeah. So lastly, Maverick's really going to grow in 26. And that's going to give us more power, right? Candidly, will give us more revenue to create more for you guys, and the masterminds will grow. I thought today, in a very short period of time, it was amazing. The stuff that I call them pearls, right? Like pearls of wisdom. The pearls of wisdom that were shared in this room today, in a very short period of time, I think were game changers, right? The suggestions we got of how to take Maverick to the next level were game changers. So we're going to continue. I'm really excited about where we can take these masterminds and continue them in 26. So 26 is going to be a really transformative year. I think we've really hunkered down in the lab, and I think we're at this inflection point. And you guys all know about inflection points in your business. We're at this inflection point as we go into 26. So we're really honored and excited to have you guys all as partners and giving us all this feedback and great ideas. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thanks. Grab the swag. Hopefully see you guys Tuesday. Appreciate it.